You know, a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse shoutout was the last thing I would have expected to see in this film. But hey, I ain't mad at it. This is a canon event, by the way. That joke was low-key goofy as hell. But in life, we push forward and cringe later. So Challengers is a brand new sports/romance film directed by Luca Guadagnino. The film stars Zendaya, Mike Feist, and Josh O'Connor. So the movie is about a professional tennis champion who plots a comeback with the help of his wife, who is a former tennis prodigy who retired after an injury. He soon finds out that he is up against another player who also happens to be his former best friend and his wife's former lover. From that plot description alone, this movie already sounds messy, but in a good way. And that is the thing about this movie. The story is actually good. Like, really good. As the movie went on, the story really kept my interest because this is a movie about love, loyalty, and betrayal. But this movie does it in the most chaotically fashionable way you can imagine. You see how things just absolutely turn out for the worst, but also to an extent, for the best. And let's say you were not a big fan of the story. Okay, fine. But you gotta admit, the performances were absolutely phenomenal. Zendaya, Josh, Mike, they were all just incredible from start to finish. You see how Mike goes from this quirky yet energetic and joyous person to this completely broken man who just wants to make the good choices by him and also his wife. Then you have Josh O'Connor playing the charismatic lover boy that never grew up. And then there's Zendaya, who, if I could be honest, Zendaya plays a toxic manipulator. Like, well, you could argue all of the characters are toxic to an extent, but yeah, Zendaya, she really is the puppet master in all this. The choices Zendaya's character makes will really make you all go, oh. It's pretty interesting because, to an extent, Tashi, Zendaya's character, has some type of end goal in a way. One could say she's doing all this for the thrill of manipulation. One could say that she just wants the upper hand for some reason. I don't know. Or maybe there was another reason that I missed because I was so fascinated with her performance that I didn't even take the time to really think, why is Tashi really doing this? But Zendaya's performance was riveting. Now, Zendaya has always been a great actress. Like, this isn't new. But in here, she is groundbreaking and she is stealing the show in every scene that she's in. Zendaya is really going for the Oscar this year. And you know what? Salute to her. I hope she gets it. Or at the very least, a nomination. Yeah, I think this is probably one of her best performances yet. But not only is Zendaya riveting, Mike and Josh's chemistry is just majestic. Their chemistry is good. Maybe a little too good. The chemistry between these two was so strong, there were times where I actually forgot I was watching a movie. Like, it felt like I was watching the documentary of two very, very close friends. You would have thought these two were childhood friends in real life, the way their chemistry was just that good. But again, the performances from everyone is just immaculate, and I really hope they all get nominations. This movie is surprisingly hilarious. Like, there were times where I found myself belly laughing, like genuinely belly laughing along with the rest of the audience. And I couldn't believe it. For a sports romance movie, there are a lot of good jokes in this movie and some very good timing with those same jokes. There is one scene where the humor is so outlandish that you can't help but to just laugh. It's kind of early in the beginning of the scene where it kind of looks at the origins, I guess you could say, their origins, or at least how they all met. But the humor in here was fantastic. I have no issues with that at all. From a visual and from an aesthetic standpoint, this movie is shot gorgeously. This has to be the most artsy looking sports film I have ever seen in my life, because there are some shots in here that were very reminiscent of an A24 film. And you know me, I love A24. So they had me with the visuals and the cinematography, because holy hell, it is amazing. Like, imagine the most poetic and most tear-jerking words and sentences ever formed are just combining all together on the big screen. That is how I would describe it. I hope that description made sense. The movie takes place between 2007 to 2019, but somehow, some way, it felt like a 90s movie. Could it have been the visuals and the aesthetics? Could it have been the soundtrack? Could it have been the strong bromance between the two male leads? Maybe. For those that have seen the movie, do you see the vision? Do you see what I'm trying to say with that? Please tell me I am not crazy down below. And there are some awesome camera shots, like some really impressive camera work. For example, There is a scene where our two main leads, played by Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor, they are going against each other in the tennis match in the final match. I forgot what it was called. One of the characters are serving the ball, and the camera cuts from the person serving to just immediately cutting into the tennis ball, ricocheting back and forth between both sides. Like, we legitimately transition into the POV of the tennis ball. I need to know how the hell did Luka pull that off, because yo, that shot was amazing. That is some of the best camera work transitions I've seen in a while. Despite the incredible work and the performances and just the overall craftsmanship of the film, there are a few things I need to address that I was not a fan of. This movie does an insane amount of back and forth time jumps. For example, one moment we are in the year of 2019. Okay, we're in the present. And then the movie flashbacks to the year of 2007. Okay, we're getting a little flashback story. And then it cuts back to 2019. And then it cuts to 2018. And then it cuts to 2012. And then it cuts back to 2019. And then it cuts to a week before the tournament. And then it cuts to 2 hours ago. The whole back and forth time jumping to me just felt so all over the place. Like, why couldn't we start from the beginning? Why couldn't we start from like 2007 and then make our way to 2019? Or we could have started in 2019, flashback to 07, and then make our way back to 2019 where the beginning of the film was. That would have been much better, because why did you transition from 19 to 7 to 2018, then back to 19, and then the 2010? Why did you do that, sir? Also, I know for a fact there is one thing I think all of us can agree on, and I know it's not just me. There are scenes where the music is louder than the dialogue. I thought, okay, either I'm going deaf or they cranked up that music a little too loud. You almost couldn't even tell what the characters were saying half the time. You had to really lock in or at least read the lips. This is the exact same thing that happened to Tenet. To this day, I don't know why that was even present in Tenet. I think someone might have explained it, but I just never tuned in. Also, this movie uses an insane amount of slow motion in the last 5 minutes of this film. There is so much slow motion in the last 5 minutes, you would have thought Zack Snyder directed it. I don't think we needed all of that slow motion, but that's just me. But in the end, y'all, Challengers surprised the absolute hell out of me. The performances are riveting, it is hilarious, it's very intriguing, and honestly, I think this is probably one of my most favorite films of the year. So, plugging Challengers into the rank system, I am placing this one into the pinnacle zone. But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much my review for Challengers. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about Challengers. Did you love it? Did you hate it? How many of y'all suck at tennis like me? Whatever you thought, let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you all in the next one.